We now return to Let's Play Tomb Raider: The Prophecy. Final area. Crawling with bad guys, of course. It actually looks like the tile set might just be a little bit different, too. That might be my imagination. And I need to heal. Fortunately, I have got plenty of health. With more on the way. Sounds like there's another spike trap freaking out somewhere. Still have to go pretty slow because there are chasms. I think the whole level actually is surrounded by the chasm. Helps be moving forward when you're jumping. And it looks like another long jump. Surprisingly, not many enemies in this level. I guess I've killed them all off up to this point or something. Pretty tricky fire trap here. Gotta time this just right without running into any of the fireballs. This level is actually kind of small too compared to some of the other ones I've just done. Now this part actually does try and do the thing where there's a split paths. We could go down to get over to the right again, but there's some spikes in the way. And it's kind of an unnecessary thing too, because I can go around them to get what I need. To be honest, it feels like the whole cultist fortress thing, the level design just feels a little bit sloppy. I know there were a couple levels earlier where there were some things that just were not necessary. Traps or something like that, I seem to recall. Anyway, all we need to be down here for is this button. And I can just go straight back. There's another gate up there, though, that I have to deactivate from over on this side. She's got a pretty good standing long jump there. Overall, I wouldn't say this final stage is all that difficult. I mean, it's pretty small, there aren't that many enemies at all, and there's not really that much to do. There is, of course, another big jump. But I think this is mostly just to let you take a breather before the final bits here where you fight the boss. But that's all there is to it. Okay, so this fight is really just sort of a, I don't know, a sub-boss. He's a little bit stronger than the other white guys. And he will summon these shadows very frequently. But it's a pretty straightforward fight otherwise. And actually, it seems like just running at him is the best way to open up some room, because he'll teleport elsewhere. Indeed, here we go. The final boss. I guess it's time to break out the golden gun. I've got over 500 ammo. Here we go. First, you gotta put the stones in the colored slot that they correspond to, and there are 3 of them. And this starts the fight. You have to have all stones in place, though, before you can actually damage her. Come on, go in. You'll see she's in that white bubble, and that protects her. So once the stones are in place, then now I can do my damage. And something I haven't been doing at all this game, I'm gonna have to jump over for shots, including the fire, because I need some time to charge up these guns so I can hit her. And I realize I could have been doing this the whole game, avoiding pretty much all damage whatsoever. Okay, so she's gone back into hiding and has risen those skeletons that were around the ledge. She can do some pretty fancy jumping moves when she's got the guns out. Alright, this is kind of awkward here. They're hung up on that corner. And unfortunately, that means that they are not vulnerable to my attack. There we go. Should be one more. And here we go. With the golden guns again. I taking a lot of damage, but this is what I was saving all those medkits for. Okay, gotta get out of that. The Uzis. And here we go again. I'm not sure how far away these guns are effectively. That's annoying. I don't know that there's a way to dodge that. Maybe doing a side jump like that. Okay. This should be the end after this guy. I don't think she summons anyone else. So, just gotta sit here front and center and keep blasting her. I could have done this with a fraction of the ammo. Defeating the Great Grey One and the Tegdu-Berez secret society, Lara Croft once again saved the world. The prophecy of the Tome of Ezekiel ended, telling of how a mysterious lady would save humanity from a premature, unwanted conclusion. And that's the end. Kind of an anticlimactic end, too, actually. There's not a whole lot to that fight. Well, overall, I think it's an okay game, considering that it's a Game Boy game and all that. The puzzles, you know, were pretty repetitious. There wasn't actually a lot of variety throughout the game. I would have actually liked to have seen a bit more. I mean, they did sort of try to introduce things like the statuettes you needed to solve that one puzzle with the directions and pulling the levers one way or another. What was the third one they tried? Oh, with the gears. You know, there could have been a lot more of that sort of puzzle variety, I felt. Otherwise, it was just mostly back and forth. You could also argue that the game is a little bit too easy. I mean, right there at the end, I started jumping in order to dodge all the attacks. I could have been doing that the whole game, rather than trying to skirt around and get out of the way. But even doing that, you know, I just had so much health throughout the game that I was able to really avoid ever being in a pinch for ammo or health. And I realized I was using the emulator to keep my saves. If I'd actually been using the game itself and going with the password system, I don't know that I would have had as much as I did. I think it would have started me out with the minimum again. So with that in mind, I suppose you'd constantly be diminishing all of your supplies. So it might have been a little bit tougher, but even still, I was able to pretty much go without any major difficulties. One thing I will say for the game, though, is that I feel it's got pretty solid game mechanics. They are simplistic, but considering that they were trying to go for an isometric gameplay, you know, gaming platform for this, I think it works out really well. You know, the automated targeting system makes it very nice, very smooth, although sometimes it'd be nice if it switched over to the closest enemy to get them out of your face. But the jumping mechanics and all that were flawlessly. You never really had to worry too much about being able to grab an edge or something like that. You know, the greatest difficulty obviously being at the end there where they had the really long jumps and you had to time it just perfectly. I could see that being kind of annoying if you missed those and died, because you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the level when you die. So that might have been something that relying on an emulator took away. But overall, I would say it was okay. I would have just liked to have seen a bit more variety. Especially with the maps. They could have expanded upon the idea of the multiple directions, but, well, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, if you did. I know these Game Boy games aren't really that popular on my channel, but it's something I wanted to play and just get out of the way, so I did. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Let's Play.